Welcome back to the Entrepreneur Series. We're talking today about signing commercial leases. Uh, One of the first lessons I ever learned when it came to signing a commercial lease was don't ever fall in love with the space. If you fall in love with a space, you'll end up paying more than you probably could afford. And that lesson has stuck with me for the last 15 years and it has served me very well. So, lesson number one, never fall in love with a space until you know that you can afford the pricing. So, obviously, step number two, you need to do the math. Can you afford the rent, your employee pay, your insurance, your utilities, all of that fun stuff that comes along with owning a business and operating out of a physical location? Can you afford all of that? And how much product or services do you need to sell in order to cover that overhead every month and hopefully pay yourself a little bit as well? That's always what we're striving for as entrepreneurs. Third thing I wanted to mention is don't be afraid to negotiate. The very first commercial lease that I signed 15 years ago, it never even occurred to me to try and negotiate the terms of the lease. I just signed it and said, okay. And not that the lease was that bad, but I probably could have done a little bit better for myself than I did. So, for example, I signed a new commercial lease for a new business I'm opening last month, and I was able to negotiate the following. I negotiated the price of the rent down each year for 5 years. I negotiated for the landlord to pay for some of the renovations. I negotiated my first month's rent for free, so I would have that time to do my renovations and not worry about paying rent when I wasn't open. And I basically went to the landlord with a well thought out plan that it was to their benefit to work with me on these prices to get a good tenant who was going to take care of the space and actually add value to it by doing some premium renovations. So don't ever be afraid to negotiate with the landlord. If you ask, you'll be surprised what you'll get. So those are my top three tips for signing a lease. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me during class time, and we'll see you soon. Bye.